So today I'm going to start the process of recreating this 1940s shirt. I saw it on the Instagram page, Strange Desires _. So the person that runs the account seems to sell a lot of vintage clothes, a lot of more oddball ones, and this is definitely one of the stranger shirts. I personally really like it. I think it's iconic, honestly, even though clearly it wasn't. So I'm going to recreate it. Now, obviously, I don't have the actual garment with me. I only have the one reference photo. I don't want to have to go through the bothersome task of asking the seller, hey, who bought this? Do they have an account? Can I ask them to send me photos of the shirt? No, I'm not doing that. I'm just using the photo and making a very similar shirt. Won't be like a perfect recreation, but it's going to be similar. Now, the first thing I thought about was the purpose of this shirt. Now, it's made out of terry cloth. You can kind of tell because of the pilling on the shirt. And terry cloth, like this that I have here, this is the stuff I bought for this project, it is a bit of a thicker fabric. And what terry cloth is known for is being able to absorb water. Most towels are made of terry cloth. Most washcloths are made of terry cloth. There are some exceptions in like decorative washcloths and decorative hand towels, but like anything practical is probably going to be made out of terry cloth or an extremely similar terry cloth-like material because it's known for absorbing water. So I'm thinking this might have been maybe like a poolside cover-up. And the other reason I think that, there's actually two other reasons, the buttons, there's only one. If they were, I understand some shirts, the buttons would be on the inside of the placket, so instead of being visible on this shirt, they'd be on the inside here, and the buttonhole would be there. I have a shirt like that, but the shirt is actually spread open a bit in the photo, and I don't see that. So there's only one button, and if it was a regular shirt, you'd probably want maybe at least three. Even if you're wearing a super high-waisted skirt or pair of pants, you'd still want at least 3 buttons minimum, and even then I would probably opt for a few more. So that's what leads me thinking it might be a beach cover-up, because you only really need one button for that, just to keep it on you. It doesn't matter if it opens, and it might be useful to have it that way because ventilation. Also, the main appeal of this shirt is the text someone has pretty clearly painted on it, like the whole look but don't touch thing, and I feel that would work in that beach side cover-up category, just because swimwear is not a very conservative type of fashion. It's not very modest, so I could see a shirt with those kind of that look don't touch motif really working for that context. So anyway, I bought some terry cloth. I don't know if this is going to be enough. It's expensive. It is expensive. It is a bit thicker, so I'll have to use a thicker needle as well. So let me just spread it open. So this is how much fabric I have. I got 1.25 yards. I don't know if this is gonna be enough. I was thinking yeah, this should be enough, but I'm really not sure at this point. The pattern I'm gonna be using, and note, I don't exactly follow patterns. I'm really just using the shape of the pieces, so I know what exactly to cut, but I'll probably be sewing it according to my own weird ways because I really don't like pattern instructions. But the pattern is Simplicity 8837. So I will be doing Vision D. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my pattern pieces. I'm just going to trace them onto the fabric because I really need the visual seeing, okay, I have to kind of Tetris them. I'm going to be ignoring the selvages and the cut edge this time, ignoring the nap, ignoring everything, just really trying to get the pieces on here. sadly suspected there's barely enough fabric, and I was not able to cut a neckband. I could not fit it in this horrible Tetris game. I also did have to make an alteration to the pattern. So the back piece, I had to split into two because there was no way I could cut one continuous piece. I mean, I guess I could have if I had done it there. Maybe kept the front there and moved the front there. I guess I technically could have, but I didn't. I did not. So we're just gonna have a seam down the back. I guess it might be, I don't think the reference shirt has a seam down the back, but I think it's kind of era accurate considering fabric could be a bit scarce in the 40s. So, you know. So I'm gonna go and cut this, and I hope I didn't make any major mistakes. The thing is, I can't really mess up because look, I don't want to have to spend the money on extra fabric. Let's just put it that way. So the first thing I learned is terry cloth gets everywhere when you cut it. So my pants, it looks like I rolled around in the snow. Except I live in the South where we rarely get snow. We have 70-degree Christmases all the time. So that makes no sense. And also it's the end of August, not the middle. But you know, get the gist. So I'm going to have to find a lint roller and fix this because this looks terrible. It looks like my pants have dandruff. But I went ahead and cut the pieces. So this is the collar. I didn't have enough to cut a neckband. I'm not sure if I already mentioned that. So I'm just doing the collar only. Not necessarily a good idea, but we'll roll with it. I think I have an idea on how I could do it that I really like. Like, I just thought of it while holding that, and I think it'll work. Sleeves. The back, which I labeled, just because the back and the front are really similar this time, because the back had been cut down the middle, the two separate pieces, and the front pieces. So the first thing is going to be sewing the collars together. Now what I'm thinking, because I don't have a neckband, do a basting stitch around the bottom, like that. I'll just use like bright yellow thread so I can easily rip it out. Sew them together into your basic pocket, turn it inside out, and your press. But then, keep the bottom like completely open. And I do the top stitching around the top, but then for that, like the side and bottom, I just stick, not the front, but the shirt inside, so that way it basically wraps that raw edge, and then there's no raw edge either way the collar flips. So I think that's what I'm going to do, actually. So I'll be back in a few with all that. Let me go find somewhere to put these. Okay, so I had to stop sewing a little early last night so that I could, go eat dinner, and I also had to clean up, so I wasn't working on a very messy desk today. But what I did was I did hem those edges of the collar pieces with some basting stitches. They are machine basted, probably should have hand basted, but whatever, because I will have to pick them out and that will suck. I also sewed the two collar pieces together, so it's kind of like a big old pouch. And I currently have these pins in there just until I can get the top stitching down, just to keep it from shifting too much. Then, I got both front pieces. I did these, I guess, placket edges. I don't know the technical term. I went ahead and sewed them down. So this is the side, this is the wrong side, so it has a selvage, and I took advantage of that. And then what I'm going to start off doing today is sewing the shoulder seams. I've got this side pinned. I'm about to go pin the other side, which is right there. After that, it's going to be attaching the collar, which it will probably be the most difficult part of this project, aside from the Tetris game of having to fit everything together. And then after that, it'll be, wherever they are, they're right here, sewing the sleeves together into tubes, hemming the bottom of the sleeves, and then sewing said sleeves into the shirt, then hemming the bottom, adding the button, and then it'll be done, and I hope I can get it all done today. It's only like 4:40, so I could probably sew till 6, because I do have to do my hair tonight. So cross fingers I can at least get it really close to the basic garment being done tonight.
there goes my needle. So, I'm gonna have to deal with that. Apparently, I was using a small one and not a big one, so we're gonna get a bigger one and see if that works before I have to resort to hand sewing. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go and call it quits today. Been sewing for like, I think like a bit over an hour. Just I'm kind of bored of it at the moment. And I wanted to have some time to relax before I have to start like doing stuff again. So anyway, here's the shirt so far. So the collar was successfully sewn on. You can kind of still see some of, I think maybe the bobbin thread of the basting stitches if I can get it to focus. Yeah, so you can see very slightly, but I did pull out all the basting stitches. So it's good. So the next step with this part is to sew the side seams, which I'll do tomorrow. Also for the sleeves, I went ahead and finished this stupid yellow thread, get out of here. This edge with a zigzag stitch, so it's already finished. So all I'll have to do is fold it up for the hem. But I'm going to do the side seams first, so I'll sew these seams, finish the edges, do the hem, then attach it in the shirt. And then after that, all that will be left is the bottom hem, which will suck. And then the button and buttonhole up here, so I can actually close it. Then I'm going to throw the whole thing for the washer just to, you know, I guess just make sure the fabric's clean. And then it'll be time to start painting the phrases on. So I just finished sewing the sleeves on. So I had the shirt right side out. And it's actually starting to feel like a shirt and not just a random blob of fabric. So here it is. It is actually pretty comfy because the terry cloth is soft, though it is a pretty heavy fabric. So here are how the sleeves turned out. I think they look pretty nice. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and do the button and the buttonhole up here. I have to quickly go double check which side needs to be which. And then I'll hem the bottom. Or rather, I'll finish the bottom, then hem it. And then once the hemming has been completed, the shirt, I'm going to go and throw it in the wash. And once it is clean, not saying it isn't clean now, I just want to go and wash it just in case. Then I'll start painting on it. So I finished the base shirt. I'm very happy with how it turned out. I definitely feel a lot more stupid threads. I feel more confident with this pattern, which is great because I know I'm going to be using this particular pattern a lot. And since it's a basic button down shirt, and I definitely don't have it in my plans to make multiple pajama sets after I get my first one done. But for this particular project, I'm happy with how the shirt turned out. I think it matches the original shirt pretty well. The only thing that really bothers me is the button. I'll come a little closer. So the actual button on the shirt is not this style of button. It only has 2 holes. It's like, it has like a really thick raised edge, kind of like a round edge, but I don't have any buttons like that, so I just had to use the one I had on hand. I know it's not the focal point of the shirt, but it still kind of bothers me a little bit. But overall, I'm relatively happy with how it turned out, especially because I got this done in like 2 days. It's a bit messy up here by the buttonhole. You can see my markings. I had to actually sew the buttonhole manually because my buttonhole foot wouldn't work. It's weird because I used that scrap piece of fabric folded twice, so it has the exact same thickness as this placket. And I sewed the buttonhole fine, but then when I did it on the shirt, it wouldn't work, so I just had to manually do it with a zigzag stitch. Hopefully all these markings will come out. One's like a pen that should hopefully come out with some water, and the other is a bit of Sharpie, so I'll probably just go ahead and take some rubbing alcohol and spray it. Okay, so after not working on the shirt for like 2 weeks, at least, I'm finally getting to the painting. Now, my original plan with the painting was to use screen printing paints because a long time ago, I got a screen printing kit, came with red and blue inks, and it's like a paint. You can use it as paint, and you can heat set it, so it's like made to be good on fabric. Like, once it's heat set, it's not supposed to go anywhere. It's made for fabric. It's not like using like a non-fabric paint, if that makes any sense. Like, I guess fabric medium would be built in and stuff. My technical terms are failing me. But they're missing. So I'm going to have to resort to acrylic paint. So I got a blue and I got a red. I'm not excited for the red because it's Apple Barrel and I really don't like their paints that much. This blue, though, is unopened Americana. Or maybe opened. No, it's been opened. I'm an idiot. I just saw the tiny bit of seal left. I'm like, oh, this is unopened, even though there's clearly paint on the lid. Wow. So I'm going to start painting the shirt. Now, the one thing I have noticed is there's definitely stuff on the back. You know, I'm looking at the photo, and you can see where the paint's kind of bled through a bit on like that, like back collar part, like there. Like where my thumb would kind of is, where you can see the tag on my shirt. Yeah, you can see some paint that has kind of bled through there. And that's kind of an issue because I don't know what the back says. And I really don't want to hunt who the owner of the shirt down, just ask them for a photo of it. Like, no, I'm not going to bother them. No, I'm not. So I'm only going to do the front. And I realize now I probably need to get like a piece of cardboard to shove inside the shirt. Yeah, I don't know if I have that. I think I might have a cereal box. You know what? Screw it. I am losing all professionalism, and I'm going to go look right this moment and see if we have like a cereal box I'm going to shove. My dad just took the trash out, didn't he? Okay, we don't have a cereal box, but we have this. This will work. Just something just to make sure it doesn't go to the back. I mean, I don't really care, but you gotta have some professionalism. Okay. Anyway, let's get going. Alright, so here's the finished product. I am very proud of it. Did I do everything perfect? No. And when you do compare it to the original, there are some things that are a bit different. That's repetitive. Mainly the collar is just, I think, a bit off. It was only my second time sewing a collar, and is there, I forgot. I did neckband, did I? No, I didn't. For the record, it's been a few weeks since I've sewn this shirt, so I kind of forgot exactly what I did. But no, there's no neckband, so that also probably affects it. It just kind of comes down a little bit into the text. As for the paint itself, I think it came out pretty good. It's not spaced the exact way on the original. I was trying to replicate the angles. I think, yeah, this was the side I think I nearly ran out of room on with the keep off. There isn't a lot of room between that and the shake it but don't break it. I am happy though. I think it looks cool. I'm actually proud of the exclamation point on the wow and the question mark on the I'm yours. And I did try to replicate the letters. So, for example, all the T's have a specific curve to them. And then the A's were different, like every single A. So I made sure each A was kind of the same. So I was trying to replicate the lettering as best as I could, like even the tilt on that W on WOW. I was just trying to replicate it. Was it perfect? No. But am I proud of it? Yes. It's really cool because I set out, I want to make this shirt. I want my own, and I did it. And I think that's really cool. Now, I forgot if I said this in a previous clip. I know I mentioned that there is actually paint on the back on the original because you can tell because of the fabric. You can kind of see the paint through it. I was going to actually show my fabric, but the paint didn't really bleed through too much. But on the back on the original, there was definitely paint. I'm sorry, I don't know how about the collar is back there. It's probably wrecked. But because I don't know what it said and I don't feel confident enough in my 1940s lingo to kind of just make up some stuff, it's currently blank. Who knows? I might just one day grab some paint, add something funny, maybe a little more modern. I could maybe add like my last name or something. Who knows? I've got no clue on what I actually want to do back there, but that's always something I could do. And I also realized I need to snip some threads on it because terry cloth frays a lot. And I didn't really realize that going into this project. But overall, I'm very happy with this shirt. And it was a challenge, and I am so glad I did it. So thank you for watching and putting up with my absolute insufferable self. Seriously, you deserve a medal. See ya.